Well, that's done very nicely, and so what I'm going to do now is just coat the pan with the warmed butter and pour in 2 eggs that I've whipped up. Okay, so I've just poured in the egg mixture, and I'm just going to spread in the onion, and then bits of cheese, with the seasonings, and now all we're going to do is just going to distribute those a little bit better. That looks better. And we're going to put the lid back on. We're going to set it up for 10. I don't think I'll need 10, but I'm setting it up for 10 just to make sure I've got enough. And here we go. Now what you're going to see is the movement of the egg as the halogen, I'll zoom that in a little bit for you, but you're going to watch the egg actually move. And I'm going to do this in real time just so you get an idea of how long this really takes. I've got a timer on it at the moment, and then I can speed it up in the video if I need to. But the reason I'm saying watch the movement of the actual egg is you're going to start seeing after a little while 2 things happen. The cheese will start to melt, which gives us a pretty good indication that things are beginning to get cooked, which is a good start. And then you're going to see the actual skin form on top of the omelette itself, which is another very good thing to see. But what we don't want is for it to be overcooked. What we'd like it to be is just nicely cooked, not overcooked. So that's why I'm going to keep an eye on it, and we'll just let it cook away for a moment. So we're about a minute in now, and I don't know if you can see, but the cheese is definitely starting to melt. And you can see, maybe you can see there's a skin starting to form. We're doing well. Now, the other thing I like about the halogen, as opposed to cooking on a fry pan, is for the fry pan, you know, I always like to keep the top on the fry pan to keep the heat even throughout. With the halogen, you know it's going to be even throughout, so it's wonderful. You can probably see at the outer edges that it is starting to cook, and sort of about 3/4 in, you can probably see, let's see if I can move this forward a bit, you can probably see that it's starting to bubble there, which means we're definitely getting some serious cooking. Now the actual pan itself is a little bit towards the camera. So what I'm going to do, it's not quite even, is I'm going to compensate for that. And that was something you do need to watch out for, is that it's a really good idea if you start with it absolutely centered. So that's a little warning thing for you. So what I'm doing now is I'm centering it. In fact, when I think about it, I think I'm going to move this slightly off-center again, just so that the other side is given equal opportunity here. So I don't know if you can see that, but this side is almost totally cooked, as it needs to be, and that side, you can tell it's a different color. Okay, let's have a look here. If you look here, most of it is yellow with a little bit of sort of liquid showing. And over there it's mostly liquid showing. So that's what I'm watching for. Very simple. We're now 4 minutes in. And it's definitely cooking very nicely. And now you can see that we're getting a lot more cooked. And the only bit that really isn't cooked is a little bit to the about 10 o'clock. I don't know if you can see that, but that's the only bit that really still needs a bit. The cheese all seems to be beautifully melted. The edges look good. Now, what we know is that once that turns to yellow, the egg will still continue to cook slightly once I start to work with it. So all I'm looking for is, as soon as that little bit goes the right color, I'm going to take the heat off the omelette. But as you can see, it's really hard work. I'm just sitting here leaning against my countertop watching this thing go down. And the edges are looking very pretty. Now, we're all going to have a little prayer to whatever we believe in that I will be able to get this out in one piece, but the chances are I won't, and that's okay. Alright, so now I'm going to take the heat off it, you can see. And let's see if I can do this for you. And I'm just going to do a little nifty trick here so that you can see better. I'm going to lift this up if I can. Yes, I can. I'm going to put an extension in here so we can get this a little bit higher. And you can still see it. That's good. And now I'm going to try and get this out while you're watching, which will be an extremely difficult thing for me to do. So as you can see, I didn't flip it perfectly, but it's looking pretty good. And we're just going to give it a little bit more heat. So plug it back in again, just to brown off the top a bit. And then we're going to be done. Now, as you can see, the halogen, if you've opened it up and put it back down again, it'll take a minute just to work out the temperature. Does it have the right temperature? No, it doesn't. So now what it did is it just kicked the heating system back in again. So we're now at 9 minutes. So it's a 10-minute omelette, really, but very tasty. Now, I've done it in the past where I have thrown in some bacon bits or some little chunks of ham or whatever. I'm just making a very simple one today, just to show you that it really is fun to do. And to me, if it's fun to do, then you'll do it again. If it's really hard work, then you won't. Okay, so you can see everything's bubbling again, which is a pretty good sign that we are done. Yum. So I'm just unplugging it, and now I'm going to put that on a plate. I'll be right back. Now this is one of the things I really love about the halogen. What I've done is I've just filled up the bowl with a little bit of soapy water, and while I eat I'm just going to let that work on the egg mixture, and by the time, oh, we'll give it a bit more time, and by the time I have finished it will have basically washed out the worst of that egg. So, I'll take you to here. Here's my omelette, and as you can see, I'm going to cut it for you. It's just a beautifully done omelette. Just exactly what I want in an omelette. So, not overcooked, not rubbery, just gooey, and hopefully going to be very, very tasty. Yum!